Hi, yogis. Hi, friends. Welcome to our day of thanks practice. For the last few years, I have taught in the studio in Potrero for most of the major holidays, and often 100 people show up. So trying to invoke that in my own mind. And I thought, where was I last year? I was up in the mountains of Munnar in Kerala, India at a amazing tea plantation, and a lot of the tea is grown in India. So what a difference a year can make, huh? I'm sure you're all thinking the same thing. So let's see if we can just bring ourselves to the present, to today, to our community, to our virtual connection, seeing some of the names coming into the room today and just having amazing texts with friends and finding a connection even though we're not together. I am solo. I've got my 2 dogs and that's it. So I feel held, I feel comfortable, I feel connected. I'd love to have you join my practice today, and I thought we'd work on our drumsticks in honor of Thanksgiving, our thighs, and we'll work on opening our big hearts even broader. Okay, yogis. Feel yourself connected to your spot. When the going gets tough, we come back to our mat, right? We come back to our safe and stable place. Maybe you want to shut your eyes immediately, close our eyes and block out the visuals, cut down distractions, and start to go within. We start the practice. Feel the grounding. Feel the attachment to the earth. Through the sit bones, maybe the weight of the thighs releasing down. Maybe the energies moving from your hips down your thighs, out your knees towards the floor. With this beautiful grounding, we start to feel the rise. Our subtle bodies, right? The chakras or the bandhas or the vayus, any way you'd like to think of the energies moving through your system. The rooting, so we can rise, that profound feeling of a grounding and a lifting. Slightly tilted forward, pelvic bowl, anterior tilt of the pelvis, creates the arch in the low back and starts the zipping up of the spine, trying to find those natural curves. Awareness to the bottom of the rib cage, we bind in those low ribs. Stabilize an unstable segment, so when you bring your chest tall, the heart opens. Ooh, feel the broadening of the collarbones, right? Take your hands back behind you. Spread your wings. Feel the fingertips reaching way out. Go ahead and roll the thumbs backwards. As the thumbs roll backwards, the shoulders externally rotate. We want that. Take them to internal rotation just from the shoulders. Roll the thumbs backwards. And then one more time, thumbs come to the sky and then to the back body. Keeping those shoulders in external rotation, we release our elbows towards the hips. They won't touch, but the idea of maybe some weights on the end of your elbows, dropping down towards the ground, another grounding force. Feeling the crown of the head lifting. How the head has become bobble-headed now, right? Less of a chin forward position, but almost a natural tuck, a light tucking of the chin, our Jalandhara Bandha, our throat bond. Take a moment here, scan the internal structures. It's our check-in. Where are you starting today? What's being fed back to the brain? Listen up, you'll hear it. Change what you'd like to more just observational. Where are we starting? Checklist through the brain, what's happening in your mind, that monkey mind, that chitta-vritta, that constant churning. See if we can take a break from that. We're losing track of our days and our holidays Today's a special day to just unwind, right? Take a moment here, see if you can find your breath. I love that statement. We breathe all the time, but it's the breath, the yogic breath that we look for, that we cultivate. Increasing the volume of air in and increasing volume of air out, filling our lungs to the maximum capacity. The more you take in, the more you blow out. Inhale through the nose, warming and hydrating and purifying that air, that prana, that life force, that sweetness, all the good. Bring it in. And on the exhale, breathing out through the pursed lips, hearing and feeling the exhaust and all the debris, physiological, mental debris that we're trying to rid ourselves of. It's a natural filtration and purification process. Bring in the good stuff and blow out all the junk. Find a rhythm to your own breath here. Maybe trying to make your exhalations twice as long as your inhalations as we sit. And please envision each one of us practicing apart and practicing together, supporting each other as we make our way through the next few weeks and months until we return to more of a in-person big hug community. Okay, yogis, find your breath. Let's sit for a minute. Before you open your eyes, take your thumbs and cross them lightly over the heart chakra, center of the chest. We stop for a moment here and find our breath. Calm our nervous system. Bring ourselves back to our center, our authentic selves. Stop for a moment here and think of what you're so thankful for. Your family, your friends, your yoga practice, your health, your brilliance. Stop for a moment here, feel your humanness. Blink your eyes open, look at the front of your mat, bring the gaze back up, and our hands lift almost automatically, right? Fingertips up to the sky. Starting to feel the softening and release in the side body. The ribs starting to find their space, the muscles between the ribs, the intercostal muscles softening. Ignite that low rib ring again. Look up towards your hands. Take your thumbs back behind you, the upper back starts to move towards the back body, the de-rounding of that thoracic spine. Again, pull the low ribs in. Bring your hands together, fit your elbows back between your ears, interlace the fingers, index fingers, precision, laser beam up to the sky. Inhale, and on your exhale, let's make a left hand turn. Just from the right side of the waistline and rib cage and scapula, shoulder blade starting to release. Bring it back to center on the inhale and to the right on the exhale. Back to center. Inhale. Exhale, press your hands together, lower them down slowly through main central, stopping at the third eye. Tip of the nose, your lips, your throat, and onto your heart. Thumbs pressed to the heart will rise. Release the elbows towards the earth. Feel the grounding, feel the lifting. Inhale. Exhale, spin the hands to the earth and right into the neck we go. Right hand holds the ground, left ear softens to the left shoulder. Close your eyes today. Luxuriate in this sense of knowing the body parts and how we can facilitate the release, letting the weight of your head and gravity do the work, not thinking about what's happening next, but hanging out here right now and experiencing this unwind. Beautiful, yogis. Inhale your head back to center, and on the exhale, opposite. Left hand will hold the floor, that's the anchor. And the right ear softens into the right shoulder. Maybe feel this side what's the same or different from the other side. Maybe the spine is a little stiffer, maybe it's the fascia and connective tissues. You'll notice the longer you linger, the more the head will release. Inhale the head back up to center, and on the exhale, ride the wave, chin up and down, nodding to the left, carving out that path, finding our way through. Find the end of the range, bring the chin to neutral, and then see if maybe you can take the head around a little bit farther, look behind you. Inhale the head back to center, and on the exhale, ride the wave around to the right. Find that clearinghouse. Beautiful. Bring it to rest at the end of the range and maybe a little bit more rotation. Inhale back through center, a little cleaner around to the left on the exhale. Let's take our left hand to the right ear and give it a little encouragement, maybe a little bit of extra added release. Put the left hand down. Inhale, and on the exhale, reach the chin out towards the shoulder point. And then perhaps you can release it down and touch the shoulder point. Take the right hand now and spin it backwards. The palm will come up, the thumb rolls to the back of the mat. We floss that nerve. Return the hand to neutral, chin to neutral, inhale back through center, exhale around to the right. Yeah, lubricating the joints, starting to feel the opening. Take the right hand, left ear, do the same thing, little bit of a push. Release the right hand down, inhale, exhale, reach out with the chin. And then see if maybe you can drop it down towards the right shoulder point. Left thumb will roll back, the palm will come up. Back to neutral, the hand with the chin, inhaling back to center, and on the exhale, release the chin down to the jugular notch between the two collarbones. It's neck flexion. Try to keep it all up in that cervical spine. Trace the chin now along the line of the right collarbone, inhale, and on the exhale, around it goes. Try to keep it as close to the collarbone or on the bone as possible. And explore the end range back to that shoulder point. Inhale back through center and exhale around to the left. Keep the chin on the collarbone, find that flexion rotation. Beautiful. Inhale back through center on the exhale, reaffirm, press the sit bones and fingertips, low ribs come in, the heart comes up. Inhale. Exhale, lift the crown of the head first. Find the length to the spine. Push the heart forward and find that big arcing motion from behind the heart all the way to the back of the skull. We slowly lower the head down and explore each of the vertebrae's contribution to the motion. No dizziness allowed, no pain in the spine allowed. Inhale back to center and exhale. Take your legs out in front of you. Open the knees and ankles for a moment. Let's do the rotation in our hips. Start with the feet together. Inhale, and on the exhale, spread the toes, and then take your feet out to the side. So work the toe muscles, pulling the toes apart. Inhale back. It might be easy to touch the big toes together, so take the heels apart a little bit and see if you can touch the big toes. Inhale back to center. Keep them spread apart as the heels roll on the floor, the toes go out. That's external rotation. It's all from our hips, right? Inhale back to center and exhale. If it's easy enough to touch the toes, take the heels apart again. See if you can find that strength and movement in this internal rotation. Maybe some cramps in your hips because the muscles are weak. Good. One more time, open them up. See if right and left are doing approximately the same things. If one is not, then see if you can match it a little better. Inhale back to center. Last time, bring the heels apart and try to touch those big toes together. Beautiful, yogis. Inhale back to center. Slide the legs back up again, and whichever leg was on top last time, put it on the bottom. Take your arms up, cactus arms, widespread fingers. Open and close your hands. Feel that movement, feel that energy, right? Let's shine the palms. Inhale, exhale, turn the thumbs backwards, drop them back. External rotation, ball and socket. Inhale forward, exhale down, elbows stay out to the side. Try not to round the spine, it's all in the ball, moving in the socket. Inhale back to center. Exhale, take them back behind. One more time, drop them down. Beautiful. And take them back up. Inhale, exhale, bring them together. Touch the hands, elbows. Turn the hands to face you, palms. Looking at your palms. Inhale, and on the exhale, push the sides of the hands and elbows together. We rise up. See if you can keep the elbows together as long as possible. When they start to come apart, let them come apart and bring them down through that thick fluid. Dock into your side pockets and go through that 2 more times. Inhaling on the way up and exhaling on the way down. Elbows at the side, turn your palms up and down, light bulb hands. Into our queen wave. Into hallelujah arms, up they go. Finding the freedom, right? The ease and movement in our wrists and hands. Go ahead and shake them out. Take them up. Find your long wingspan here. Fingertips way out to the sides. Grab your imaginary tennis ball. We flap our wings. No upper traps. It's all the muscles in our shoulders. So we're not bringing the shoulder blades up and down. They stay in neutral. We flap our wings. Let's take a Thanksgiving flight. There are so many birds outside my window here. These Canadian geese and huge amounts of migration. The sounds are amazing. Let's see if we can emulate that. Good. Take your right on top, left on bottom. You guys know how to customize this. This really is one of my very favorite new routines here. Our Gumugasana arms. Customize it so it feels comfy for you. Inhale, and on the exhale, take the right into the left elbow and draw the shoulder blades forward. It's protraction, right? Inhale them back to neutral and exhale, pull them back together, retract them. Find those distinct movements of shoulder blades riding on the cage. Inhale it back to center, and on the exhale to the right. Take it around. Big stretch, left side, back of the left shoulder, and mobilization of the right shoulder. Turn your gaze, look over the right shoulder, see the movement that we've already reclaimed. Beautiful. Inhale back to center, exhale left. Take the arms around first, feel that Posterior stretch, left or right shoulder, and look over your left shoulder. Inhale back to center. On the exhale, let the elbows down first. The shoulder blades will elevate. We'll stretch our lower traps. And then start to round your spine. Add the spinal movement to it. Maybe the left elbow goes to the bottom of the rib cage, and maybe your fingers of your right hand will touch the floor as the crown releases to the ground. Inhale yourself back up. Exhale, pull the low ribs and just the elbows come up. The blades will depress down the back now. And the best part, right behind your heart, push it up. Yeah, so we extend through that thoracic spine. The elbows go up, and then maybe let your head release back. Inhale it all back to center. Beautiful. Let those egrets take flight. Down they go. And then back up the other way. Find your comfy place to find the stretch. Inhale, exhale, left into right. Protract the blades. Draw them forward. Inhale them back to center and retract. Pull them back. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. Back, left shoulder stretch. Turn the gaze. Inhale back to center. Left. Turn the gaze. Inhale back to center. Release them down. Elbows release first. Start to round the spine a bit, right? Shoulder blades are being pulled apart. Beautiful. Let the crown of the head release. Fingertips maybe to the earth. Inhale back up, and on the exhale, pull the ribs in. Elbows come to the sky. Move through the upper back first, and then let the head release back. Find all those separate movements. Nice, yogis. Release the arms to neutral. And let them back down again. Beautiful. Let's go right into a side bend. Maybe a block on either side. You might need it. Walk your right hand out. Find the length to the side first, right? So we're not caving in. We've got a long body. Beautiful. Take your left hand and hold the thigh down. Inhale. On the exhale, concentrate here on lengthening the left waistline. So it's kind of easy to put the elbow down and let that whole left hip come up. See if you can keep the pelvis down and drop the elbow, and all the stretch comes into the side body. I know you can feel it. If the elbow's not near the ground, that's what your block's for. Put it down. Left thumb into the armpit, lengthen out. See if you can feel that, right? So the spine is lengthening out first. Then we roll our heart to the sky. Inhale the left hand up, and on the exhale, take it across town. Right arm real stable, not caving into it, but finding that stability and length. Hang out here and see if you can purposefully let the left sit bone, go towards the earth a little bit more. Yummy stretch. Keep the length of the right side waistline there too. Maybe let the right ear release to the right shoulder. Oh my goodness. So opening and freeing. Inhale yourself up with your core. And on the exhale, switch to the other side. Set up for success. Left hand down. Right hand holds the thigh. Push down, give it a grounding. Lengthen out. Start to release the elbow towards the earth from the side bend of the waist. Put the elbow down on something. Take the thumb, right thumb into armpit. Lengthen the spine. Find some long extensions. Roll the heart to the sky. Beautiful. Inhale the right hand up, and on the exhale, take it across. As your hand starts to come across, push your sit bone down a bit more. Yes. Bring on those sensations. Let the left ear release towards the left shoulder. Inhale yourself back up. Whew. Tall sit position. Beautiful, yogis. Okay, let's move our blankets. Come onto all fours. Begin our opening of our legs and our spines. Press the heel back, all the way back. Crown of the head forward. Feel the opening of your gastrocnemius, the calf muscle that crosses over the knee, blends into the Achilles tendon. Inhale the body weight forward. Feel the toes articulate as you flip over onto them, like going from down dog to up dog, right? Flip the foot over, find the plantar flexion. Go back through that again. Push back, all the way back. Feel the articulation, and then roll through it one more time. Yeah, maybe second time you can feel, all right, things are a little bit more lubricated. Heel all the way back. Draw righty forward. Do the same with your left. Push the heel back. Crown forward. Back of the knee to the sky. Inhale. Tips of the left toes flip over onto the top of the foot. Articulate through all those bones in your ankle and your foot and your toes. Roll back through it one more time. Push back. And release through it. Beautiful. Push all the way back. Last time. Good. Let's take our knees underneath our hips and have your hands forward of your shoulders. So they're not directly under, but forward of your shoulders. Start to open, dance through the spine here. Inhale. Exhale, push back a little bit. As you push back, your hands are real stable. Start to spread the sit bones. Feel the stretch of the hamstring on as they pass over the sit bones, a little arch in the back. And starting to push back and let the ears start to come towards the elbows. Good. Inhale forward, release the feet. Find the press of the hands into the ground and the energy out of the ground. And just release the pelvis forward. So not the spine so much, maybe the low back a bit, but more just opening the front of the hip flexors. Inhale back to center. Curl the toes under. Exhale, push back a little bit more. So deepening our knee flexion and hip flexion. Still down dog arms. Look what we can do here, right? Release the heart through. Opening the upper back and starting to feel the shoulders release. Maybe your nose touches the ground. Inhale back up, release the feet, come through that pelvic thrust motion, right? And then up into bottom of the rib cage and shine that beautiful heart forward. If your low back is pinchy here, back off or put a block underneath your pubic bone to support it. Try not to take it all in your low back, but find some movement in the upper back, right? This is top of cobra. Inhale, curl your toes under on the exhale. Float back through down dog arms. Ears release towards the elbows, and then release the elbows onto the ground for Sphinx arms. Forehead to the earth or a prop. Maybe pull the hands and elbows back towards the knees and feel, my goodness, my spine is lengthening. Inhale back through it. Release the feet. Start to unwind the spine. You got it. Heart shines through. The head still in neutral. We're not looking up and not loading into our low backs, trying to find the thoracic spine component mid-back. Inhale. Exhale, look over your right shoulder. Add the neck rotation and a little bit of rotation into your thoracic spine. Look at your heel back behind you. Inhale back through center, and on the exhale, left hand turn, look over your left shoulder. Inhale back through center. Yogis, bend your elbows now back towards your hips and put your pelvis down. Pull those elbows back to the hips and shine your heart right forward, right? So we're not on our elbows. Elbows are up. Heart is forward and the head is so free. Inhale up through your scared cat, and on the exhale, take your knees wide, big toes touch, and we lower back into wide child. Down doggy arms, Sphinx arms. Forehead to the earth. Bow down for a moment here, giving our thanks, our humble position. If your hips are pinchy here, back off of it. Shift your pelvis to the right and to the left and give those hips a nice squirt of synovial fluid, moving all our lubricating magic through the hips. Bring the pelvis back to neutral and then do a little rock around the clock. So a little hula dance to the right, through the clock. So we're moving the pelvis over the fixed thighs, scouring the hips, and do opposite. Roll the pelvis to the left, counterclockwise. Feel the movement and opening in the hips and low back. That's beautiful. Bring it back to neutral. Inhale up. Exhale, release that beautiful cobra that we've prepped. Open into your top of cobra. Bend your elbows, put your pelvis down on the ground, pull the elbows back to the hips, feel the broadness of the heart, and release through that thoracic spine. Beautiful. Inhale yourself back up. So let's sit back in Virasana now. I've given you many times ways to customize your Virasana. Remember, if it's too much in your knees, blanket underneath the knees, too much in your ankles, under your ankle, or maybe you just need to sit up on a prop. See if you can bring yourself to some sort of comfy place here in Virasana. Take your hands, thumbs to the breadbasket, right to the bottom, solar plexus. Pull the elbows out and release the shoulder blades. Press your palms together. Inhale. Exhale, turn the fingers towards the front and drive forward with the hands. A little press of your hands. Come through to straighten the elbows and then push further through so that you protract the shoulder blades. They slide forward, right? So you're not leaning forward, but you're pushing forward with your shoulder blades. You got it, yogis. Pull them back, hands back, thumbs back. Inhale, exhale, take them out again. Protract the shoulder blades. Retract them this time all the way back, and then find their neutral. Take your right hand over your left, interdigitate your fingers. Try not to have your shoulders up, but they're down. And bring the fists through the hole in the arms there and see if you can bring your elbows closer together. Take them back out again, protract the blades, retract the blades, neutral with the blades, and send the hands through. Touch the elbows. Nice. Take them back around. Switch your hands now, left on top, right on bottom. Protract, retract, neutral. Take the hands through the hole in the arms, touch the elbows. Back through they go. Protract, retract, wrap or neutral. Take the hands through, touch the elbows. Release your hands back down. Let's stand up. Grab your straps. Go ahead and open up the strap and maybe just let it rest around your neck. Let's find Tadasana. Seems like a great day to find Tadasana, right? A grounded, stable sense of purpose and place in this turning world. It's our still point. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart, or whatever variation works for you. Lift and spread your toes, put them down. Big toe knuckle, little toe knuckle, heel, and cuboid bone, the bone on the side of your foot. Press it into the earth. Can you feel what happens? The inside arches rise. Same idea, grounding and lifting. Tighten up your quadriceps a little bit, some pillars to stand on. Take your hands on tops of the thighs and give them a push back. So as you push the thighs back, the low back will arch. Find your tailbone in your mind's eye and don't tuck it, but descend it. So push the tailbone like there's a laser beam right down to the earth. All the low belly, pelvic floor muscles pull in. You got it. Squeeze your glutes maybe with 20% of your power. Enough to create stability, but not so much that you end up externally rotating your hips. Take your hands back behind you. Find your presentation arms. Release the little fingers to the thighs. And just from the elbows down, turn the hands in. Palms will touch the thighs. Notice how your head is a neutral, bobble-headed here, right? Let's go ahead and stand on the shores in Massachusetts. Watch the Mayflower as it lands. Close your eyes. You can move around in Tadasana. You got a little bit of movement going on, but it's very stable. Good. Open your eyes. Find your legs are still very stable and bring the arms up. Take your hands, interlace your fingers, and turn your palms, push them up to the sky. Start to open up through the shoulders, low ribs in, back bend the upper back. Release the hands back down to your side. Grab your strap now. Let's work our shoulders. I've got a few new things for you for our shoulders today. Take the strap, put it on the bottom of the pelvis, or top of the pelvis, sorry, and have your hands apart. Usually start with them about shoulder distance apart. Inhale your arms up. We're in Tadasana still, right? We're just rising up with the arms. What I'd like to see now is that your arms come right back behind you without wiggling into it, finding the movement, the circumduction in your shoulders. So spread it apart a little farther if it needs to be. Catch the strap on the bottom of your rib cage and then trap the strap between your elbows and your side body. Let's strengthen our bellies. Inhale. Exhale, push your hands forward, but at the same time, push the low ribs into that strap. Right? So we got two different forces, forward and back. It's an isometric contraction of your low belly and core. Beautiful, yogis. Release that pull. Find the big wingspan. Inhale. Up you go, and exhale around to the front again. So we know what to do. If that was too easy, bring them in a little bit more. If it was too difficult, take them apart. Non-striving. Find what's really good for you. Inhale. Exhale, find your Tadasana body as the arms come up. And then exhale, take them back behind you. Find that movement without a lot of spinal cheating. Strap to the bottom of the rib cage. Trap it. Inhale. Exhale, push the hands forward. Pull the low ribs back into the strap. Strengthen your belly for a moment or two. Release. Take the arms back. We'll do one more time. So readjust, maybe third round. You can take it in a little more. Inhale, and on your exhale, take it up. Yeah, feel the difference each time. Beautiful. Bottom of the rib cage, trap it. Inhale. Exhale, push the hands forward, pull the low ribs back. Find the belly strengthening. Release. Open your wings. And let's come to rest with the right elbow right on top of the head. So it's resting on your head. It's not behind it yet. It's resting on the crown of the head. Take your feet apart. Still Tadasana legs. We're aware of the stability in our legs. We're not just moving them around, but they're apart for a little more ease and stability here. Good. Take your left hand on the strap. Inhale, and on your exhale, this beautiful lever now with your arm on top. Pull with the left hand, and it's all shoulder blade. Shoulder blade up. So a little rib cage action, but there's no shifting of the hips yet. Good. Let's hang out here for a moment. With every exhalation, pull a little bit more with that left hand and see if you can find where you might be holding. Make it as graceful as possible on the inhale. Switch it back up again. Left elbow will drape on the crown of the head. We find our Tadasana legs and use the pull right hand. Start to open up through that rib cage. On the exhalation, a little more stretch. Switch back and forth here a few times. Maybe do it in your own speed and breath. Do two more on each side, just through the rib cage. Notice the stability of the legs allows the stretch to happen through our ribs and shoulder blades. Last time, right side and left side. Inhale it back, same start, and then this time we'll add the hip into it. Be very careful here that you stay between two imaginary pieces of glass, frontal plane. So you're shifting your hips to the side. I don't even want to do it incorrectly. Don't rotate through the pelvis. You will not hurt your back. Find those strong legs. Inhale back up, and let's switch back and forth a few times. You feel the warmth in your arms and your side body, right? First through the shoulder blade, and then let the hips move to the left a little. Maybe you'll feel it down into the lateral thigh a bit. Come on back, inhale, exhale, same thing. Right into the pelvis. Oh, Yummy. Inhale. Exhale, switch. And back up you go. All right. Grab your strap now. I like to use the loop end of it. So I'm going to hold on to the loop with my right hand. And this time, rather than the arm being right over the head, I'm going to try to have it behind, right? So my arm is behind my head. If that doesn't work for you, then just keep it stacked. What you don't want to do, though, is push your head forward with your right arm. So we're going to come into our cow arms now. We haven't done this one in a while. I'm going to turn around so you can see what's up. My fingertips are touching the thoracic spine. Whatever piece of your thoracic spine you can touch. And again, that elbow is to the sky, not pushing your head forward. The strap is there for you, yogis, if you need it, if your hands don't quite come together. So maybe start left hand behind, bend the elbow, and then walk the fingertips up, and you might surprise yourself with, oh, I can touch my fingers. So if you can touch your fingers, you don't need the strap. If you can't, use the strap there to help to crawl it up. Watch that you're not pushing your head forward, but our elbows are right up and left straight down. So see if you can find those cow arms there. Shoulder blade on the left, drop back behind you. Okay. We'll switch now, and you might be amazed at how different side is to side. Mine definitely are. So let's go ahead and release the left hand, and then grab the buckle with the left hand. Maybe take the right hand to the elbow, it's straight up to the sky, and your hand drops back behind you. Try not to push your head forward. Find your Tadasana legs. Sweep the right hand behind you now. See if you can release the elbow down as the fingers start to crawl up. Usually your dominant hand, which is my right, is going to be tougher to crawl up your back, and that's why we use the strap. Close your eyes for a minute, yogis. We haven't done this one in a long time, so remember, non-striving. Let's see where you're starting out. If this is something that's tough for you, maybe add this into your repertoire. Beautiful. Release, and let's just do one more time each side. So just switch the buckle back to the right hand, elbow to the sky, left hand sweeps behind. Find Tadasana legs, maybe crawl up the strap, or maybe your fingers interlace. Pause for a moment. Warm in our bodies, right? Release the left hand. Put the buckle back into the fingers. Left hand, elbow left to the sky. Right hand sweeps behind. Grab the strap or your fingers. Maybe you're noticing a little soreness in the shoulder. Watch that you're not pushing your head forward. Use the strap to bridge the gap, trying to bring the elbows one to the top and one to the bottom. Left up, right down. Beautiful, yogis. Go ahead and release. Nice. Go ahead and let your straps down. Grab your blocks. Let's do our forward fold Pez dispensers. Take your Pez candy up into the groin. High up into the groin it goes. Many of you know this routine. We use our block to find our muscles. Back to Tadasana. It all starts in Tadasana, right? Pushing your feet into the earth, growing tall. Take your hands onto your pelvis. Inhale. On the exhale, squeeze the block and push it forward. You'll notice you're wanting to go into a back bend, right? Facilitate that with the hands. Pelvis posteriorly rotates. We start to extend through our hips and find a little movement in your low back. So the low back will come into a bit of an arch as the elbows go back behind your neck, completely out of it. Inhale. Bring yourself back to center, and on the exhale, squeeze the block, push it behind you now. You're going to want to forward fold. We know we forward fold from our hips and not from rounding our spine. Hands are on the pelvis. Anteriorly tilt the pelvis. Flex the hips. Find those Tadasana legs and hang out here. Just low back and starting to feel a little stretch of your hamstrings, perhaps. Inhale back up. Exhale, squeeze the block and push it forward. Do just what we've done. Tadasana legs, posteriorly rotated back. Extend in through your lumbar spine and come on up to the bottom of the rib cage and into some of the vertebrae in that thoracic spine. The neck still out of it, starting to move through from behind the heart. Inhale back to center, yogis. Exhale, reverse. Squeeze the block, push it back behind you now. Tilt the pelvis, flex the hips into the lumbar spine, and then into our thoracic spine. It's nice and long, the crown of the head to the top of the mat. Use your hands here to push your thigh bones back, but lengthen your spine out. So nice. Inhale back up. Exhale, squeeze the block, push it forward. Come back through low back, lower rib cage. Open the heart now, neck, chin still tucked. Open the shoulder blades. Find that arcing movement from behind your heart. Inhale back through center, exhale. Release down through it. Come through 90 degrees. And then maybe put your hands on your thighs and let your hands slide down your thighs. I'd love for you to concentrate here on your hips doing the work, not your spine. Spine doesn't round. Beautiful. Slide your hands down. Maybe they'll come down close by your ankles. Maybe release the head. Inhale the head back up. Bring the body up. And let's go back in extension again, full extension. Tadasana legs. Pelvis posteriorly rotates. Low back arches. Behind the heart. Up through the back of the neck, and then maybe let your head release back for that beautiful extension of our spine. Inhale back to neutral, so sweet. Exhale, squeeze the block, push it back. Come down, flex the hips. Allow that belly chest to release to the thighs. If your hamstrings are tight and it doesn't hurt up by your attachment points of your hamstrings, bend your knees a little bit and let your belly, chest release towards your thighs, the crown of the head to the earth. Slide your hands down the legs. Maybe they're on your shins, on your feet, on some blocks. Maybe they're on the ground. Distribute the weight evenly. Tadasana feet, big toe, little toe, heel. And if your hamstrings can tolerate it, meaning that you don't round your low back, straighten out your legs. Find those hamstrings. Oh, yummy. Maybe do one at a time. Find your untrained pose here. Use your props. Enjoy your forward fold. Cascade the energies through. Bend your knees. Put your thumbs into your hip creases and push yourself back up to tall stand position. Beautiful. Okay. Let's move into our tree. So find yourself on your mat, and we'll build the stability in our hips first, and then we'll build our tree. Seems appropriate on Thanksgiving, a nice strong tree, right? A few little warm-ups. Step forward onto your right foot, big toe, little toe, heel. Transfer the weight, find stability, draw the left leg up. Take your arms out. Straighten your left leg, try to find stability on right, and bend your left leg. Concentration really on the right hip, not so much the left. Do that a few times with that left leg. Good. Hands back to the hips, step back with your left foot, put your heel down. This is stable now, so when you bring your right leg back, you're coming back on a very stable left leg. Let's do the opposite. Step forward, left foot. Big toe, little toe, heel. Draw the body weight forward. We've got a Tadasana leg. We're aware of this gluteus muscle, not letting our hip pop to the side, but using it, to find that stable pelvis. Right knee will draw up. You can use your high wire arms here for a little more balance. And then go ahead and bend and extend your right knee a few times. Concentration, left hip stability. Beautiful. Take righty back behind you. Find your stable platform and step back. Good. Let's add to it. Right foot forward. Build it up. Find that real stable piece. Left leg comes up. Maybe step with this. Maybe do your horse paw. See the bottom of your foot in the front, right? Touch the ground with the big toe. Sole of the foot, and then it comes back behind you, not from spinal movement, but from hip extension. The horse in the pasture. Do a few of those. Whether you know it or not, this is what we do when we walk. One foot on the ground, the other one lifts. So it creates this beautiful platform for us. Good. Step back with your left foot, step back with your right. Step forward left, same thing. Bring it forward. This is our stable platform. Take it up, high wire arms if you'd like. Horse paw, all from the hip. As little spinal and pelvic movement as possible, and as much in your hip as possible. Beautiful. Step back, step back. Let's build our tree. Step forward, right foot. Come on to that leg. We just did it, right? Bring it back up. You can use your hand if you'd like to. If not, see if you can just spin your leg out to the side, open the whole front, and let that foot land where it wants to. It's okay if it's on the inside of the knee, wherever it feels comfortable to be. Push your foot to your thigh and your thigh to your foot, and your whole core will engage. Take your hands to your heart, find a drisdya, gaze, and maybe you'll take your leaves up, your branches. Reach up, find that stability. Wave your autumnal leaves, what's left of them. Bring the hands back to heart center. Spin the hands open. Let the left knee come forward. Step back, step back. So beautiful. Do the other leg. Left foot. Find the stability. So in the old days, maybe you were already thinking about bringing this leg up. This is your stable platform. You have to have your left leg and core first before you bring the leg up. Use the hands so lightly to help to just place the limb. Foot to thigh, thigh to foot, the whole bandha system comes alive. Hands to the heart. Maybe take your branches up. Find that stable tree. The wind comes along and you're not going to be knocked over. Hands back. Release the hands. Take the leg forward, take it back. Step back. One more forward fold. Inhale your arms up. Exhale. Come through main central. Bow to the earth. Release the hands wherever they might land. Forehead towards the knees. Knees straight, knees bent. Figure out what's best for you. Take your thumbs into your elbow creases and let the elbows release to the ground. Feel what you can do there. The traction from pulling down lengthens out your back and your hamstrings. Crown of the head releases. Maybe ignite the quads at the end of it to straighten your legs and find that beautiful hamstring opening. Bend the knees, thumbs into the hip creases, and push yourself back up. Okay, yogis, let's come on back down to the earth. We'll move right into sitting pretty. Start with your right leg on your left thigh, your foot turned out or straight back. I know we talk about this a lot. If your left hip is up a whole bunch, be sure you're sitting on something that's going to make it a little bit easier for you to find that neutral posture. So what does all that mean? That means that if your left hip is up like this, blanket underneath the right sit bone. Take your hands behind you. Inhale. And on your exhale, push the front of your left hip forward. Yeah. Work that drumstick, right? Release it back. Left L hand can internally spiral the hip and ease it down to the earth. Push the left hip forward. Release it down. Maybe the middle finger finds the sit bone, and feel all that intricacy, the pelvis releasing as the hip internally rotates. Do one more. Push it up. And then maybe just in your mind's eye this time, see if you can find that articulation. Right hand, left knee, left hand behind. Open up first. Find the length. You cannot twist if you're flexed. Inhale. Exhale, turn your rib cage, yogis. So keep your gaze forward, just turn the rib cage, find that movement, and almost like an afterthought, the head will turn to look over that left shoulder. Bring it all back to center, low hovering arms, left hand, right knee, right hand behind, big open heart. Inhale, exhale, twist the rib cage to the right. Find that movement, so we're not taking the left hip up, right? That stays down through the rib cage and then the afterthought of the head as you turn and look over the right shoulder. Inhale it all back to center. Okay, we're going to take our left leg now, we're going to take it over the right leg. So you can use your hands if you'd like to, or maybe try to explore hands behind, or maybe even thumbs in the armpit, and see if you can just find the movement and strength from your hip muscles. Whatever you need to do to get there, fist to the ground, lift and shift, put the sit bones down, big toe knuckle, left foot on the earth, hand on your knee, big open heart. So we just twisted, let's add to it with different leg position, arms up, inhale. Exhale, just the rib cage, please, to the right. Add the chest and look over, little finger, right hand. Bring it all back to center, strengthening the muscles, right? Make your left hand turn, twist. Look over, little finger, left hand. Inhale back to center, right through on the exhale to the right again. And then this time release your arms, use them as a little extra added bonus to really twist into your spine. Inhale back to center, exhale immediately left. Release the arms, use them, added twist. Inhale back to center. Use as much as you need to, as little as you have to return that left leg back where we found it. Push the foot to the thigh to the foot. So engage in, and hopefully you can feel those bandhas ignite. The pelvic floor, that thoracic spine, and right up into your neck. So release the press and notice it kind of caves in. And then if you push your foot to your thigh, thigh to foot, energetically, anatomically, we rise. Beautiful. Take your hands behind you. Bring the right knee up. And then put it back down. So just another articulation through those drumsticks there. Up and down. Good, let's do the same on the left now. Try to make it all in your hip. So what does that mean? That means that I'm going to lift my leg just from my hip rather than like a fire hydrant move, right? It's all from your hip. Beautiful. So articulating and lubricating that hip. Let's do our mind sweep now. Back to your hands, big open heart. Inhale. Exhale, pull your core in, find the stability, and see if you can sweep that left leg forward, big spread open toes. Left knee lands on the right knee, or your dog. Lift up and bring it back around again, and see if you can find that movement back into sitting pretty. We'll do two more. Lean back, core, straighten, sweep around. Touch, bring it back, use whatever assist you need to come back into place. Last time, left leg. Nice, yogis. Come on back. Awesome. Okay, let's do our laying down of the beast, where we rotate ribs, right? Stable platform. Go ahead and bring them around. So as we start to bring the ribs around, your left sit bone will have to come off the earth. Turn. See if you can bring your belly chest to the mat, and then bring your arms down for your staggered sphinx arms. Left elbow touches right knee, right arm is forward. I'd love for you to envision how we're going to get down, not from just collapsing, but lengthening out. So push the left elbow into the right knee, lengthen first, and then a little bit of a right side bend rotation, and the heart goes towards the ground. Take the left elbow forward, you got sphinx arms. Now push the hands and elbows into the earth and find some length to the spine. You got a whole bunch there. Pillow arms. So make some pillow arms, rest your forehead down or use a bolster or blanket if need be. And straighten out your left leg now. Push it down to the bottom of the mat. It's going to be a Tadasana leg. And then crawl it to the back of the mat. Open up your hip flexors. Very safe in our low back. See if you can spin your heart towards the floor and maybe rest your chest and forehead down on the ground. Bring your limbs back in. Come on back up to sitting pretty position. Maybe you can feel how the joints have been worked. Let's move into our gate, modified gate pose. Take the right hand out. Remember, we did this inside and sitting at the beginning of practice. Same thing, except our legs are in a different place. Spin it open. There's a method to this madness, yogis. You know that. Lengthen out. Roll the heart up. Left hand comes up. Take the left hand across. Reach way out. Find that very long side. Push your left hip closer towards the earth to lengthen out. We'll do our Saramonte arms, the car dealership arms as we come to the other side. Use the right arm as little as you have to push off. It's more your core. Inhale up. Find those Saramonte arms as you come across. Definitely a San Francisco reference. Your elbow will land on something. Heart opens, hand reaches out. Try not to be towards the ground, but heart open. Reverse back through it. See if you can fall into it with grace. And switch back opposite. And back to neutral. We'll switch to the other side. Use your hands. Don't use your hands. Figure out what's best for you and try to switch your legs around coming to the other side. Set up for success. Use your props. Be sure you're somewhat comfortable in your start position. Take your hands back behind you. Peel the right butt cheek up off the floor. Hip flexor opens, and on the return, it's an internal spiral. Hip pushes open. On the return, maybe this round sit bone squashes middle finger. It's still internal spiral. Push forward and release. Find yourself in your comfy place. Little twist action, right hand, left knee, left hand behind, open-hearted. Inhaling, exhaling, ribs will do the work. The afterthought of the head turning. Low hovering arms takes you back around. Heart forward to start, twist the ribs, move up through the heart. And the head's the afterthought as you look over the right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Let's take the right leg over the left. Use the arms. Don't use the arms. See if you can figure out your most efficient way to get the right leg on top. Big toe knuckle on the ground. Fists to the ground. Shake it out. Hands to the knee. Big open heart. Arms come up. Inhale on your exhale. Left hand twist. Open twist to that left. Turning the gaze. Maybe you've been practicing with me for all these weeks and months now, and notice that you have the strength to move the torso and ribs now. Beautiful. Inhale back to center, exhale to the left. We've been there many times. Release the arms and use them to inspire a bit more twistorama. Inhale back to center, exhale right. Release, twist. Inhale back to center, so yummy. Take this right leg, put it back where we found it. Better probably to have the foot turned out this time. Lean back. Left leg will come up and down, all from the hip. Trying not to move the pelvis or the spine. There might not be that much movement, and that's why we're doing it. Other leg, up you go. So less of a fire hydrant move, right? And more of just this hip articulation. Good. Let's do our mind sweep. Take your hands behind. Pull the core in, the bandhas. Hold stability there. Right leg will come out. Spread the toes as you come across. Touch the back of the right knee to the left. Sweep it back around. Fit it back into place. Dos mas. Right leg forward. Sweep it. Back. Beautiful. Last time, the charm. Take it around. Move your drumsticks back into place. Beautiful. Let's set up for our beast. Laying down now. Hands to the bottom of the rib cage. Inspire the twist from the bottom of the cage. Take your arms out. Staggered Sphinx arms. Right elbow, left knee. Left arm forward. Inhale, and on your exhale, press your hands and elbows into the ground. Push the right elbow into the left knee. Find the length. And then address the heart towards the ground as you rotate to the left a bit. Creep the right hand forward. Do one more press of the hands and elbows to find the length. And remember, we don't come down in a fetal position, but we just lengthen out. Release the arms to your pillow arms or a block or whatever feels right for you. Straighten out your right leg. Remember too, if it's real pinchy in your left hip, slide the left knee forward a bit. It should decrease the pinch. Curl that right leg back behind you. We've opened our hip flexors a bit. See if you can find that opening and freedom. And as the right leg goes back behind, the heart releases towards the earth, and maybe you can put your forehead down and find that release. Gather your limbs back in again, yogis. Come on back to your sitting pretty position. Let's move into gate pose. Crawl the left hand out. Put the elbow down. Thumb in the armpit. Lengthen. Roll the heart. Look up. Inhale the right hand up. Stable left platform as you come across. Reaching out, finding that beautiful side bend. As the fingers reach out, the sit bone pushes down. You're not going to touch the right sit bone to the earth, but trying to move it down. Switch your arms around through your car dealership arms. They come around. Heart is not to the ground, but to the sky, reaching out. Switch back, yogis. Left side. Inhale back up. Exhale to the right. Inhale back, start. Okay, let's go back into half lotus. See what it feels like now compared to the beginning of practice. Maybe, oh my goodness, my hips are softer. Let's take a walk. Thumbs, tops of the thigh bones, push them down and rock your pelvis forward. Remember, the pelvis will roll forward. Your sit bones will leave the earth. Keep your chin tucked and reach out with the crown of the head. Walk your hands out in front of you. Right on. Okay, keep the elbows up to start with. Inhale. And on the exhale, walk around to the right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try to frame our knee with our elbows. Maybe you can get your arms to do that. If that doesn't work, then have your right elbow inside. Okay, here's the best part of this one. Press your left hand into the ground. Come here's a nice down dog there. Left hand presses into the ground and pull it back towards your left knee. And look what happens. You lengthen out. Turn your chest. See if you can address the chest to the knee. And maybe your elbows go on the ground, sphinx arms. And maybe you can touch your chin to your right knee. And maybe you're nowhere near any of that. And who really cares? Just trying to stay in the alignment. Let's pause here for a moment in your rendition of the pose. Side bent, rotated, warm. Inhale back up, yogis, and on the exhale, walk back through center. In center, crawl out, cat claws the carpet, and then continue walking around to the left. See what you can do to frame the knees, the knee. Maybe you can release the elbows down towards the earth. Remember pressing the right hand into the ground and elbow and pulling it back towards the right knee. Look what you can do. Lengthen out that whole side body. See if you can release your chin towards the knee. Find the breath. Pull yourself back up, center, and walk your hands forward. And feel the opening. Walk the hands back up. Switch your legs, opposite cross. Virtually the same thing. Crawl them out. Walk them around to the right. Frame the knee. Release the elbows or not. Use the left hand to push into the ground and pull back towards the left knee to lengthen out. What a glorious feeling to find those nuance of the system. Rest for a moment, chin towards knee or on a prop. Inhale back through center. Cat claws the carpet at the center point. Continue walking them around to the left. Frame the knee as best as you can. Use the push of the right hand and elbow into the ground back towards the right knee to lengthen out and rotate. Come to rest for a moment. Pull yourself back up. Tall sit. Okay, yogis. Get your blankets. Fold them up so they're a tri-fold. Just means there's 3 different folds here, right? Something that looks like that. And take the finished end, meaning not the tassels, but the finished end, put it down on the blanket so it's the direction of your feet. Many of you know this, maybe just watch real quickly. This is a big old heart opener to end with. We're going to put our shoulder blades down on the blanket, the shoulder blades on the blanket, so the armpit is above. So your head is not on the blanket, right? The shoulder blades are and the armpits are above. You got it. If you put your head down on the ground and it feels like you're on the crown of your head rather than the back of your head, and slide another blanket or maybe even a block underneath the head. You don't want to be on the top of the head. That's excitatory and we want to create relaxation. Okay, take a moment. Find yourself into place. Shoulder blades on blanket, armpits above, arms out in a T. Pass it back then, heart opening. Grateful, thankful position. Envision your big heart chakra, green colored light, like mylar color or mylar shininess of the green light coming out your heart towards the sky. Take the bottoms of your feet, put them together, And let your knees open out to the side for Supta Baddha Konasana. A light press of the feet together as the knees open. We don't have a lot of pressure on the back of the head. If you do, maybe mechanically take your hand and lengthen out the neck or put that blanket underneath the back of the skull. Inhaling and exhaling. Straighten out your legs now. If this is uncomfortable for your back, then just bring them back into Baddha Konasana like we were, or have your feet on the floor. By straightening out your legs like this, it changes the whole equation. Your arms are out to the side now, right, yogis? You can feel the backs of your hands on the floor. I'd like you to keep the backs of the hands on the floor and bend your elbows. So with the hands on the floor, you'll bend the elbows, right? And the thumbs will come closer up towards the shoulders. We're in cactus arms. Some of you might think there's no way I'm going to touch the back of my hand to the ground here, and that's okay. Maybe have a prop underneath or just have it kind of hovering. So if you notice here that the backs of your hands are not easily touching the floor, you know you're lacking the external rotation and probably some tightness of the pectoral muscles across the chest. Depending on your orientation, either sand angels or snow angels. Inhale. On the exhale, keep the backs of the hands on the ground and take your arms on the ground up over your head and see if you can touch. Got all these props behind me. Touch your thumb or your index and middle finger together. Beautiful. Bring it back down, slide them down into cactus arms. Do it again. Backs of the hands on the ground as long as possible. Touch the hands up overhead. Bring them back. Now take one arm up over your head. Reach way to the top of the mat. I'm going to slide myself down here. And do the same thing on the other side. Take your right hand around your left wrist and lengthen out the left side body. So beautiful. Left hand around right wrist, lengthen out right side body. Come to rest if it's comfortable for your shoulders with the back of one hand and the palm of the other. This is that huge circumferential rib cage. The bigger the rib cage, the easier it is for your lungs to fill to their maximum capacity. The ribs are not preventing those balloons from inflating. So however you'd like to find it, maybe inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. See if you can really fill up your lungs with the best energy today and blow out all the toxins and garbage you no longer need. Let's do 5 long breaths. One at a time, bring your arms back to your side. Bend your knees. Roll over onto your right side. Push up for just a moment. Maybe just slide your blanket up the mat, and you'll be back down on your back with the back of your head on your blanket today. A little extra sweetness for our Thanksgiving. Straighten out your legs. Take your hands to the side of your mat. Grab your mat with your fists. Inhale, and on your exhale, push your hands to your feet, and you'll slide up the mat. Feel your neck slide up the blanket a little bit. Maybe the nape of the neck is supported by the roundedness of the blanket. Beautiful. Bring your shoulder blades underneath you. Turn your palms to the sky. Cover your eyes or close your eyes. Put a blanket over you if you're a little chilly. We'll start our descent down into Shavasana. Our productive rest, our lucid sleep, our reboot. Touch the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth behind your teeth. It's a still, quieting spot. Let the tongue release now to the bottom of the mouth. The lips will part slightly. No tongue and no teeth, no gripping, no grinding. So soft and vacuous a mouth. We'll do our tongue bath today, a perfect day to inspire this deep relaxation. Tongue bath is nothing more than allowing the saliva to build up in your mouth. Our brain gets the message that we're salivating, and we only salivate when we're about to eat or when we are moving into relaxation. Think of yourself falling asleep on a beach and waking up all drooling. So with your eyes closed, you're on your magic carpet now. Go out for your ride. Your tongue bath is with you, building the saliva. Off you go into no thoughts. Go ahead and fly out for a minute or so, and I'll bring you back in. In a moment, I'll ask you to swallow. Know that that saliva that's been building up in our tongue bath will make its way down through your whole GI tract over the next few hours. And in that fluid is all the relaxation. If there's any agita, any upset, any sort of gut stuff going on, this will soothe. Go ahead and swallow and feel the saliva as it makes its way down through the esophagus and down into your stomachs. Softening, right? Find the marble on the back of your skull and let your head rock so slowly, side to side. Waking ourselves, beginning to wiggle your fingers and your toes, maybe bending your knees Sliding the heels to the buttocks, glue your knees and ankles together and roll to your right side, away from your heart, into our transition position. Perhaps today, of all days, as you roll over, feeling those thoughts of thankfulness, of gratitude, altruism, seva, or selfless service. We remember Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. May the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and to that freedom for all. Let's take a moment here in our side-lying position to be so thankful for this Sangha, this group, this practice that we have sustained through all the adversities, being apart from our brick and mortar practice spots, apart from our communities, apart from our families. And yet yoga, our constant. It fills my heart. It gives me a sense of still being close. I am truly grateful for each one of you coming and practicing and keeping our flame alive. I'd love for you to envision the face of your real mom or somebody who has mothered you. Bring in their image, the face, that beautiful face, that non-judging and unconditional love face. Hold it in your thoughts as you come back to your seated position. Bring them with you. Come sit up. Bring your fingertips to the earth. Ground in. Feel yourself on this special day, connected. Tiny grains of sand sitting on the blue-green planet. So microscopically small and yet so important to the whole. Draw the energy up from the earth to your heart center, thumbs to the heart, and the heart will rise. We pause here to remind ourselves to be so grateful for all we have. Inhale. On the exhale, reach out right through the ether. Fingertips touch, fingernails touch, hands open like a lotus. Feel that energy towards you. Bring it back to your heart center. Let's gather it. Thumbs to the third eye. Still contemplation point, all-seeing eye, ESPI. It's a clarity spot. Let's bow to our drumsticks. Namaste. Everything is all right. Let's see if we can hold on to that. Bring in all the sweetness, embrace each other through the virtual lines, and pray for the day where we are back together again in hopefully a few months and bring this all back together. Thank you so much. Many of you have probably already received an email from me yesterday. Beginning on the 8th of December, I'm moving all of my yoga teaching to a platform called Vivaya, V-I-V-A-Y-A. You can go check out their website. I'm building my classes. I'm very excited about it. Until then, we will see you back here on Sunday. And next week, Tuesday and Thursday is my Yoga Works last week. Thanks, yogis.